What's up, guys? It's Crash. Super exciting video today for you guys. We're going to take a look at the weapons in the Battlefield 2042 Alpha. We're going to take a look at one of those rifles in particular and its counterpart in Battlefield 5 and compare the time to kills and see where they're at regarding that as of the Alpha build. And I think it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of cool information, but we need to get some things out of the way first. So you guys may have noticed in that particular intro a little logo that says Battlefield University, and I just want to use this video as a soft launch and a preview to that series. When the game gets here, as I've said in other videos, we're going to break everything down. We're going to get the best weapons, best loadouts, so we have the best chance at succeeding in Battlefield 2042. I think it's going to be a great sub-series. We're going to try and brand it around getting better at the game together, studying the game together, and I'm just really excited to get this off the ground. So I wanted to use this video as a little bit of a preview as what you guys can expect as we approach the beta, and then definitely when the game releases, we're going to be diving deep into the all-out warfare, hazard zone, and portal aspects of Battlefield 2042. And I'm really excited to get this thing off the ground. I've been planning it for a long time. And guys, I don't ask for subs very often. I feel like you guys know where the button is. You don't need me to ask you for subs, but I'm going to tell you, since we're launching this series, if you do subscribe to the channel, you can expect a lot of really good detailed information on how we can get better at the game. I also would love your help on the Discord, because as we go through this game, anything pops up or changes or weapon balance stuff, or maybe even if I make mistakes in the video, which is probably pretty likely, if I make mistakes in videos, you guys can let me know on Discord and we can get the right information out to the community, and we can just build a big community around getting better at the game. And I'm really excited for the potential of this, and I'm honored that you guys are coming along for the journey. You're here at the beginning, and I think it's going to be great. The other thing we need to talk about is this was the Battlefield 2042 Alpha under NDA. I was not invited to the alpha test. I am not under NDA, so I'm able to talk about some of this stuff. That being said, I am not going to be showing any copyrighted material. I'm not going to be showing any gameplay. Also, some of the other things I'm not going to do is I'm not going to trash the game right now. I could make a video and talk about, you know, all the problems with the technical test and things that are broken and things like that, but it is a technical test, and I feel like that would be really poor taste to just start dogging on a game that we know this build is several months old. I have seen the closed forums. DICE is aware of pretty much all of the issues, so they're already working on them. I don't think we have anything to worry about, guys. So we're not going to, you know, badmouth the alpha or anything like that. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's healthy for the game, and it doesn't make any sense because they still got time to work on it. They're aware of these issues, and just part of the development process. So with all of that being said, I hear the voice of public opinion. Crash, you just said it's a test. They're going to change the time to kill. Why are you looking at it? Because I'm curious. All right. I wanted to get this Battlefield University started, and I'm curious as to where the developers are right now, where they're thinking, where they're targeting that time to kill. And that's why we're going to compare the two assault rifles. So anyways, with that being said, guys, let's get right into it and talk about some weapons. So what I want to do is briefly mention all the weapons in the Battlefield 2042 Alpha, and then we're going to compare those two assault rifles across the games, get a little bit more in depth into those, and give you guys an idea of what to expect from this channel going forward. So there were actually two ARs, the M5A3, and this is the first very user-friendly rifle that you get, very similar to the Sturmgewehr 1.5 in Battlefield 5. That's why we're going to compare those two. It just had, handling was really good. The damage was great, fairly low recoil. So it was a really good all-around assault rifle. Then there was the AK-24. Now it had a slower fire rate, but a lot higher damage and more recoil. There's definitely, with that recoil, there's definitely a skill gap to this one. It killed very fast, especially if you snuck a headshot in there. So there's a skill gap to that one for sure. Then for the SMGs, there was two of them, the PBX-45, which is like the UMP that a lot of folks are familiar with low recoil and low damage, just easy handling. It took quite a few shots to kill, but you could get those shots there because there wasn't a lot of recoil. Then the K30 Vector with a really high fire rate and damage. The balance to that one was it had a high recoil recoil and small mag. You always had to reload it. It had a lot of recoil, but if you caught somebody up close, it melted extremely fast. This one, we saw the drum mag in the reveal trailer when Espinoza was replacing it with the plus system in the elevator. We saw a drum mag that was not in the alpha, so I thought that was pretty interesting. Then as far as the LMGs goes, the LCMG didn't use it very much, but it's like you expect from an LMG. Had, you know, fairly medium stats across the board, slow handling, but a big magazine. You could put a lot of ammo down range. The DMR, the DM7 was sneaky strong. It was really strong. It could get a 2-shot kill if you snuck a headshot in there. So I think that was a really strong weapon in the alpha as well. The shotgun's not really going to talk about it because I think they're still working on those. There really wasn't any hip fire spread, so the pellets were very tight whether you ADS or hip fire, so that was really strong. You could hip fire people very far away. The overall attachments were really subtle for the most part. We're going to talk about one attachment for the M5 in particular that was really good, but other than that, a lot of them didn't change much. Some of the sights and stuff increased ADS speed by minute amounts, and it's really hard to tell, you know, small changes like that when you're only getting 30 frames. So there's a few things that we're going to look at with the M5, but other than that, for the most part, the attachments pretty much did what they said without a lot of hidden changes that I could find in the limited time I got to take a look at this stuff. So anyways, let's get into the comparison between the M5 and the Sturmgewehr 1.5. So when we compare these two rifles across the two different games, we can see some similarities and we can definitely see some differences. You guys can see the recoil across the top. The green is a Sturmgewehr recoil, the red and the yellow are the M5, and the difference between the red and the yellow of the M5 is that the yellow recoil patterns are taken with the extended barrel. This was the attachment I was talking about earlier that was really strong. Also gave you an increase of range, and it also helped with the recoil, so that was a very strong attachment to use on the M5. These recoil patterns were taken from the same distance, so they can be directly compared, and we can also see that the M5 has a little bit more predictable recoil, which will help, I think, with being rewarded for skill using a weapon and learning it. It seems a little less random than the Sturmgewehr 1.5 of Battlefield 5 with its random recoil. We can see that the ADS is a little bit faster. The rounds per minute is also a little bit faster for the M5, and the shots to kill are very similar. Overall, everything in the alpha felt a little bit faster than Battlefield 5. So that's pretty much the main information on these two rifles. I think these are both rifles that are great to compare because they're kind of the first ones you get in the game, and they're very viable and user friendly across the game. So yeah, those recoil patterns are very interesting. The grips in the game in the alpha really didn't affect things too much. If anything, they helped with side-to-side recoil, but I feel like there are a lot more attachments coming, and there's going to be a lot more stuff going on with those because, as they said in the closed forum, they are still not done with weapon balance, and that likely means attachment effects as well, as that's a big part of weapon balance. So let's get to the grand finale, guys. Let's get to the animated time to kill graph. We'll put these up on the screen. So there's the graph, and you guys can see I did my very best with 30 frames a second in an alpha test to determine ranges and damages. Fairly confident in the Sturmgewehr 1.5 numbers, not as confident in the M5. This was the best of my ability to tell where the damage drop-offs were and things like that. So you can see the M5 is in blue. It has a faster time to kill up close, and then they switch places at about 35 meters. So very similar time to kill as far as stats go, but the time to kill felt faster. Now we can see by these stats it wasn't necessarily faster, but it felt faster because of the increased handling speed. The ADS was faster. Also, I feel like a lot less shots were off target because that recoil is so much easier to control and more predictable with this weapon in particular. So I think there were a lot more bullets landing on target, which made it seem like the time to kill was much faster in the alpha of 2042. That's pretty much all I had for today, guys. Knowing all this stuff could change as this is just an alpha test, I wanted to use this video as a little bit of a preview of what you can expect with this channel, unveil Battlefield University, and basically give you guys a snapshot where the developers are with the time to kill and weapon balance at this point. I think it's pretty interesting information, even though it could change, as well as I think it kind of gives us the idea that everything mechanics wise feels pretty similar to Battlefield 5. So I think if I was going to pick one of the battlefields to practice on before the beta, I would pick Battlefield 5, because that just seems like the closest comparison from what I've seen. And yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see where we go together. Be a friend, tell a friend, and I'll see you on the next one.